Greetings, adventurers. Today's video is sponsored by Dressin. Dressin is a clothing company that prioritizes innovation and high-quality clothing at excellent prices. They strive to innovate and redefine the relationship that both businesses and consumers have with fashion by breaking down the industry's barriers of exclusivity, allowing everyone to enjoy carefully crafted, stylish clothing. As a trusted source of fashion-forward items, they endeavor to bring their customers a wide selection of well-made products at a fraction of the typical retail costs. Though initially created as a business-to-business wholesale website, they made the decision to transition to a direct-to-customer model in order to gain a better understanding of their audience and to reduce their prices. So I picked out a few different pieces that they sent me, most of which you will get to see as costume pieces at some point on the channel. I will leave all of the details in the description below, and you can also check out the link to see for yourself what they've got to offer. So thank you so much to Dressin for sponsoring this video, and thank you for watching.
Alright, I think that is everything taken care of then. Yes, you're doing beautifully, right on schedule. I think you're going to be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful plant. Alright, and this next. That mysterious one. I would guess it'll still be a few days or so before they actually are producing any sort of mushrooms, but that's alright. We are nothing if not patient. Oh, it won't be a few days. Look at you. Oh, you are absolutely beautiful. What a perfect, perfect little mushroom you are. Oh, I've never been happier to be wrong. It happens all the time, you know. I consider myself something of a mycophile, but there is still so much to learn. You see, you were a type of mycelial specimen that I had never found before in the forest. So I knew that I needed to learn as much as I could about you. You see, unfortunately, the rotten log that you were growing on, it had been infected with all of these, well, dark spirits, I suppose, and so I was a little worried about what might happen to you. So I brought you here into my greenhouse, and you have been growing so beautifully and strongly since then. And look at you now, you have sprouted into a beautiful, beautiful mushroom. Oh, it's truly an honor to meet you. Anyway, would you mind if I just took a very good look at you today? I promise it won't be anything intrusive or anything like that. I want to make sure that you grow to be as big and beautiful as you possibly can. I wouldn't want to disturb any of your wonderful mycelial threads or anything like that either. I'm terribly curious, you see. You're such a fascinating, beautiful specimen. I just would love to learn as much about you as I possibly can. Is that alright with you? Oh, thank you. As I said, it won't be anything that causes any sort of harm, any change at all. I want you to grow to be the best, most beautiful you that you can be. I'm just here to celebrate you. That's all. Alright, well, let's get started. I want to take some measurements, alright, of your scales up here and your cap, of course. Make sure that we have some accurate measurements. And then if you wouldn't mind these gills here, I would like to count sure that they are good and healthy. And so the teeth and the pores underneath here, alright? Just want to make sure that everything is as it should be. And then down here we'll look at your ring and the stalk and of course the reticulum and the scales down here as well, alright? I promise I won't cause any harm. I just wanted to document this as best as I can, okay? Would you be so kind as to let me draw your picture? Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Oh, I'm so pleased. This will be one of my favorite drawings, I think. Yes, certainly. I think we'll start with the cap here to make sure that I get the shape of this. It's a beautiful curvature, yes. You know, some mushrooms have a cap that is very gradual. The curve is very gradual to it. It's almost entirely flat. And then, of course, there are things like, the morel mushrooms. They have almost sort of a columnar cap. So it definitely varies quite a lot from species to species. It's one of the reasons that I love mushrooms so very, very much. There are so many different varieties, and all of them are incredibly useful to our ecosystem. If you don't mind, before I fully draw your picture, it does look as though there might be some dirt clinging to your cap and perhaps around here, around the rim. Would you mind if I brushed it off very gently? Just very gently. I have a very soft brush that we could just brush away some of that dirt. Would that be alright with you? Okay, good. As I said, it is a very, very gentle brush. Yeah. All natural fibers, of course. Wouldn't want to cause any harm to your cap or to the striations or the zonations around the side here. We'll make sure that everything is just as it should be. Right, so if you wouldn't mind, I'm just going to come and brush the cap a little bit, alright? Okay, just as I said. Very gently. There. Is that causing any sort of irritation at all? Good. If that changes, you do please let me know, alright? I don't want to cause any sort of harm at all. I don't grow mushrooms for my own benefit per se, although it is quite beneficial that I get to learn so many interesting things about it. And I don't want to change anything about how you would grow naturally. All I want to do is provide the most safe and encouraging environment for you to grow. Alright, let's get this side over here. There we go. That's looking much better. Much better. Oh, don't want to harm these scales, the warts or anything like that. Don't want to cause any sort of harm. There we go. I think that's looking much better. I don't think we caused any sort of alterations either. How are you feeling? Good, good. I want all of my mushrooms to feel perfectly safe to be whoever they want to be. So many people misunderstand mushrooms. They think of them as a bit icky, I suppose. I mean, it is true that mushrooms and fungi have to do with decomposing, with death and all that, but it's much more than that, isn't it? Mushrooms help to create new life. They break down the things that are no longer useful and make them into energy that can be reused, energy that can be distributed to the other beings, the trees and the plants and everything else in the forest. Without mushrooms, we would be in quite a mess. If there weren't forces at work to help break down and redistribute the energies. I suppose I can understand why someone who doesn't understand might see that as unpleasant. Death is simply a part of life. And you and all of your little fungi friends, all of your little mycelial threads running through the earth beneath our feet, you are what help to really keep us clean and to keep the energy coming back in ways that can be used to make other people strong. I think I missed a spot right here. There we go, just a little bit. Right there. There we go. I think that is looking much better. Alright, wonderful. Now we can get back to our beautiful picture of you. So we were drawing the cap here to make sure that I get the striations correct on here. Every mushroom has its own special pattern of striations. Some of them form because of the nature of the mushroom itself. Some of them form because of the environment that the mushroom grows in. But all of them are beautiful. Such detail and beauty. Maybe not everyone would see it that way, but I certainly do. Alright, I've got some scales up here as well. Some lovely little curvy remnants of when you burst forth. Here we are, to make sure we get all of those accurate as well. Perfect. Alright. And then around the rim here, we'll start looking at the gills. Do you mind if I count them? Thank you, thank you. Just want to make sure that we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Goodness, you have quite a lot, that's good. Lots of gills make a very healthy mushroom. Wow. suppose my sketch will perhaps not have all of them, but I will write it down so that I know exactly how many lovely little gills you have. Alright, there we are. We'll start out just with a simple sketch, and then as we do our measurements, I'll fill it in so that I know. Let's start out with this type here. Your beautiful stalk, big and bold and strong, enough to support the weight of the cap, but flexible to move with the environment, to adapt over time. Perfect. Your reticulum here is also quite a lovely pattern, sort of curvy lines down the stalk here. That's another thing unique to every single type of mushroom, to make sure that I get the curves exactly right when we draw. Alright, there we are. It's a lovely pattern. Curving lines alternate, so it makes almost looking like a tile sort of pattern. Nature is absolutely beautiful. So much of what we create is really mimicking our patterns, the colors and the designs and the curves that we see happening in nature. There we are. Alright, and then the annulus here. Little ring that holds everything together. It's a lovely little curve to that as well. Make sure that I capture that exactly right. There we are, getting that curve. Right, perfect. And then of course, the basal pulp as well. It's what connects you down to the mycelial threads, keeping everything connected, sharing the resources of the forest, helping even other plants communicate with each other. Absolutely fascinating. For so long we thought that communication was something that just happened between species of animals. But we are learning more and more about the wonders of your mycelial threads, how trees can recognize their own offspring and actually send resources through the mycelial threads when they are threatened, to help strengthen the entire forest. What a beautiful community. Alright, I think that is a good rough sketch, but now if you don't mind, I would love to get some measurements as well, alright? Here we are. Just a very simple measuring tape, nothing magical about this. But I'm just going to take this, put it up very close to you, that's alright, so we can get some accurate measurements, okay? And then we can monitor how you grow as well. And as you get bigger, we'll get to see exactly how much you've grown. Alright, let's start up here. The cap, alright? You don't have to do anything for this. Just stay nice and relaxed. If you would like, you are welcome to close your eyes. Just try to stay a bit still, but don't worry too much about it, alright? You just be you. I'm here to get you in your most authentic form. Right. Let's start here with around the cap to make sure we get all the way down to here. Right, and all the way over here so we can get the exact curvature. Wow, that is a big, beautiful cap. Alright, now I'm going to do sort of the frontal curvature here. Alright, interesting. And hide these striations too, of course. Sort of an average for those. Alright, wonderful. Write those down so I don't forget, of course. Wouldn't want to forget anything about you. Alright, and then the striations red. About enough. Alright, wonderful. Alright, now the rim. Alright, I'd like to reach around you if that's alright, so I can really get the full circumference of the rim of the cap, okay? Right, here we are. Very gently here. There we go, okay? Like alright. Wow, it's a beautiful, big, beautiful cap, isn't it? Alright. Measured out and properly labeled here. Okay. Alright, now these lovely scales on the top of the cap. I just want to get an idea of the depth we've got up here too, okay? Just a little bit of those. Of course, the scales may come and go as you grow, but it'll be interesting to see the diameter and the height of the cap should stay relatively similar. But I suppose we'll see. Perhaps you are a species where the ratios change a little more. I guess we'll find out, won't we? Okay. And now, this might be a little bit trickier, but I wanted to try to get the length and the depth of the gills underneath your cap. Alright, I'm just going to come in here. Just hold nice and still for me, okay? I just want to sort of get the length of these. They should all be relatively the same, but of course you don't need to do that. Don't feel on the side here, just to make sure that there's some sort of curvature. Gap at the top. Alright. That looks about average, okay. Good. Fascinating, okay. Good. Doing an excellent job of holding nice and still. Of course, if you do need to move, you're welcome to. You can tell me. Or you can just move. It's alright. I will adapt to whatever you need. So, don't feel as though you need to take me into account at all. Alright. Okay. Now I would like to get to some start out with some general length measurements from the bottom of the cap down to the top of the scales at the bottom. And then I'll do some circumferences as well, okay? Alright, yeah, let's start out. Don't worry, I'm just going to take it down right to the top of the scales. Okay. Alright. Right, now some circumferences if you don't mind. Okay. Here we are. Alright, strap that around. Alright, so right at the base. Good. Interesting. Down a little bit. Good. A bit further here underneath the annulus. The annulus. And down here in the skin, of course. Alright, good. I don't really have anything to compare these numbers to because, as I've said, I've never encountered your species before. But you look beautiful and healthy. And all of these numbers are about what I would assume from other species of mushrooms based on what I have discovered. Good. And now for the annulus, I'd like to measure that a little bit, alright? Alright, just the height of this little ring that you have here. Alright, good. Okay. Right over there. Okay. The same, good. Good. The circumference here is, I don't know how much bigger is it. Alright. Good. Alright. Alright, now for the reticulum. Alright, I'd like to just get a few measurements of that, seeing how much the reticulum covers, alright? And a few little measurements down here of this beautiful pattern as well. Alright, good. Okay. Perfect. Beautiful pattern. Yes, I don't think I've ever seen this particular pattern before in other species. Alright. It's similar to that about not exactly this. Definitely got a sort of linked. Alright. Good. Okay. Just going to write those down as well. Okay. Fascinating. Okay. Good. Now, of course, I do want to just take a few more notes, alright? Mostly just things like coloration, first impressions, textures, things like that, just so I can really document this to the best of my abilities, okay? I might not be a professional mycologist, but I do consider myself as something of an amateur in the field. It's interesting. A lot of the advancements of mycology have actually come from amateurs, just people who are passionate about it and studying, of course. quite a lot that one can learn from simply observing, asking questions, and taking excellent notes. Alright, coloration here. Quite more vibrant, quite a beautiful color. Perhaps in the future we'll take some time to do just some very simple, completely non-invasive tests, like putting you underneath different colors of light to see if it changes your light, your colors, or things like that. Nothing that will cause any harm, I promise. I'm never going to cause you any sort of harm. I'm here to simply just observe and let you be your purest self. Alright, wonderful. Now, if you would like, I do have a very special food, I suppose you could say. A fertilizer, maybe, would be a better term for it. Something that I could give you that would just help to lift the spirits a little bit. Most of my other mushrooms find it quite enjoyable. The others just don't really care. Some of them are a little silly and don't like to express their true feelings. It's alright, I understand. But if you would like, I could prepare some of this lovely fertilizer for you. It's just a few different herbs and other plants and things that I mix together. It's a mix that I've curated myself, and it is quite lovely for mushrooms. Alright, wonderful. Let me prepare that for you too, right? Just so that we make sure that you are growing to be your biggest, most beautiful self. Alright. I plant and harvest and dry them myself. Make sure that they are the most pure, perfect plants I can offer. Not that one, let's see. This is very nice looking. Alright. Here we are. Just going to add it into here. I'll crush it up a little bit, alright? Now I do want to assure you, these plants are allowed to live their fullest, most beautiful lives. I only take the flowers once they begin to wilt and they've given away their seeds. It's good and healthy for a plant that once the flowers start to fade, you remove the wilting flowers so that it's not taking nutrients from the rest of the plant. So, I just want you to rest assured that everything that I collect is done in the most pleasant way possible, in ways that help the plant itself, not causing any sort of harm. Wonderful. One other one. Now this one we won't need all of just a few petals. This is a flower that is good for you, but also helps to prevent little critters that might try to harm you. Of course, I do my very best to keep everything out of my nursery, but critters can be quite clever. Get through my little safeguard, so just in case, I do like to add in a little bit of these petals. I very much dislike the smell of them. It's not going to cause any critters any harm either, but it works as a natural deterrent. There we are. Just put a few of those petals in there. There. Perfect. It's looking very well balanced here. Now I'm just going to take this and sprinkle it around the soil and the rotting log that you're on, alright? I'm not going to do anything all that fancy, but it is a very effective fertilizer, as I said. Alright. There we are. A little more of it on this side. This should help just disperse some beautiful nutrients into the soil. Help keep you nice and healthy. Keep all of your mycelial threads growing strong. And prevent, of course, any unpleasant visitors. There we are. Wonderful, wonderful. You might not feel that right now, but fairly soon you should start to feel the benefit of that. Alright, well, I don't want to trouble you too much. Of course, you need to focus on growing and doing your wonderful job in our ecosystem, keeping us all safe and keeping the energy flowing in the right direction. Now, of course, your log here will remain nice and moist so that you have plenty to drink and plenty of sunlight gets into our beautiful greenhouse here, so that shouldn't be a problem either. But is there anything else at all that I can do to help you feel comfortable today? Alright, well, if you think of anything, you feel free to let me know, alright? I want to make sure that you have the absolute best support that you can possibly have while you're here. Alright, just one or two notes here, and then I'm going to continue on, alright, to the rest of my plants and my beautiful mushrooms here. I think that you will find a wonderful community here. We all like to help each other grow. Alright, just writing down that I give you that lovely fertilizer today. And we'll check back tomorrow, okay? Unless you need something sooner, by all means, please do let me know, alright? Okay, well, I shan't keep you anymore. You keep focusing on growing into your most beautiful self. I'll see you later. Right. What a wonderful treat that was today. Okay.